This is the power of it. Don't you settle for less. If you just give your best, then you will have success. This is the power of it. Don't you settle for less. If you just give your best, then you will have success. Easy, this is the power of yet. You may not get the problem, don't spend hours in stress. No, it's all about the process. Steady make progress, remain optimistic. I don't get it, well, not yet. Life is a journey, not a destination. Every teacher, every leader needs an education. Tempted to say can't have the courage to add yet. A growth mindset to staff in the class mess. You see, there's a difference between not knowing and not knowing yet. That three-letter word yet is very powerful if you think about it. I can't do this yet. Perseverance is paramount. This is the power of it. Don't you settle for less. If you just give your best, then you will have success. This is the power of it. Don't you settle for less. If you just give your best, then you will.
All right. The power of yet. The power of yet. Okay? Means that we don't say that I can't do this, but we say I can't do this yet. Okay, and today I want to start off with something that I got, just an inspirational moment that I got from my insurance agent. You know, with this lady, I have my home insurance, and I also have my car insurance. And, you know, she talks about how she started her business. So I want to read a quote from her and a quote from Obama real quick. Listen. I try to learn from my mistakes. In the past, one of my greatest flaws was the power I gave to my failures. I had not yet learned to translate the word no as not right now or not this way. Once I learned the art of translating apparent negatives into motivation for my progress, I was able to turn 100 phone calls a day into one of the most successful farmers agencies in the nation. That's Gina Trust. That is my insurance agency. Okay? She started that company, you know, after she found out how to realize that no does not mean, okay, no really means not right now. Okay? It doesn't mean that you need to quit. So once she learned how to transform that people saying no into making her motivated to do even more, she took those 100 phone calls that she was getting every day, and she made one of the most successful farmers insurance companies, you know, in the nation. And this is where she get this quote from. She got it from Obama. This is what she lived by. It's like Barack Obama says, the real test is not whether you avoid this failure, because you won't. It's whether you let it harden or shame you into inaction, or whether you learn from it, whether you choose to persevere. So that's what Obama said. Obama said, you know, you're going to fail. Basically, everybody does. Everybody that you know that is successful has failed at one time or another. Okay? But he said this is the key, though. It's not that you're not going to fail, but it's what you do when you fail. Are you going to let that failure make you inactive? Janet, what does inactive mean? Inactive.
Wait, what?
Inactive.
Inactive means like something that you do.
Caleb?
It means like, so when you're inactive, like say inactive means like, yes, sometimes like you're walking or running and stuff, and then some people are inactive and they don't go outside and then
Okay.
they just stay in the house.
Absolutely.
Playing video games and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So inactive in this, and the point that she's making here, don't let it make you not do anything, shut down and quit. Because that's what a lot of people do. When they fail one time, they generally stop and give up. And that's what we got to go from.
I did.
We got to go away from that. We have to let those failures, okay, teach us. And also, we have to learn how to persevere through those failures. Okay? Because failures, that's what they do. They teach us. They help us to learn how to navigate through this life. Because life is hard. It is. But if you learn how to let your failures teach you, and you learn how to persevere, you will end up being successful. Okay? So I wanted to start with that. So we're in Unit 4, and this is actually Activity 2. And this is really a formative assessment, you know, based on the 3 types of memory that we talked about. Can anybody tell me the 3 types of memory that we have? Yes?
We have sensory, working, and long-term.
Okay. And these are the keys. We need to understand this process so that we can become better, so that we can grow. Remember what I said. A lot of people want to be better, but a lot of people don't want to do the things that it takes to be better. Because growth takes what? Work. It takes, you got to go to the growth mindset. Growth takes effort. It takes paying attention. And all of those things go into, right. All of those things go into you being able to grow. So everybody want to be better. Everybody want to change. Everybody wants to grow. But everybody is not willing to do the work. And so that's what we got to do. And we have to learn, what this memory thing and how this process works. Okay? So, all right. I gave you a cheat sheet because on the other side, turn it to the other side, that's really what you were supposed to do. Not that side, the blank side. And that is for you too. Yep, that is for you too. And I have one right here too. But that's, yes.
Why did you give us a cheat?
That is the side. Well, eventually I'm gonna make you do the one right here, the blank one. Okay? But I gotta make sure you understand it first. That's why we're gonna go over. Okay, so here's the question. Question number 1, and we're not talking in the back right there because I am. Question number 1 is, there are 3 types of memory. How long does each memory last? So we already said that sensory memory, it lasts less than a second, just as long as that nerve signal takes to fade away. Because sensory memory is just that. We have a unique ability to be able to sense things and see things. So when we go somewhere, we see a lot of people. Okay? We see a lot of people. And so that's that sensory part that allows us to see a lot of people, allows us to view this world from the inside. Okay? Working memory, it lasts a few seconds to a few minutes. Anything that you pay attention to will go into the working memory. And that's the key. Anything that you pay attention to goes into the working memory. That's the key. You want to know why a lot of times we say, I don't know that, even though the teacher have been over a lot of times, LaKayla?
Yeah.
It's because we don't pay attention. That's the key. Paying attention. When you don't pay attention, you miss out on a lot of things. A lot of things. So that's the first thing. It has to get to the working memory. And that's where you're paying attention. And then long-term memory, that's the ultimate goal. We want to know. Okay? We want to know it. And so in order for us to know it, we have to get it to that long-term memory. And long-term memory lasts days, weeks, months, or years. These are created when new connections are built between the nerves. So that's our goal. We want to get the information from sensory memory, and we want to have it to translate all the way to long-term memory. Because when we get it to long-term memory, we know it. Okay? And that's where we want to be. We want to know. We know it. Yes. 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 And so that's where we want to be. Now, question 2. What has to happen before something can get into working memory? Yes, Caleb.
You have to see it. You have to see it and practice it and study it. You have to see it, study it, practice it, and more, and then and then you will know it for like 30 minutes or so, and then.
Okay, so let's stay right there. Yes.
You can pay attention to it.
Good, man. That's absolutely. You have to pay attention to something for it to make it into working memory. Before new information gets into your working memory, it has to go through sensory. So sensory memory, you can see something, like you do. You see people all the time. Some people you remember, some people you don't. Why do we remember some people and we don't remember others? Is because it's something about that person that caught our attention. Okay? That's why. Because it's something about that person that caught our attention. Because we see thousands of people every single day. But we only remember those that catch our attention. Okay? So, we have to be paying attention in order for it to get from sensory memory to working memory. Number 3, what has to happen before something can get into long-term memory? What has to happen? Caleb, you answered that question.
You have to pay attention to it, and you have to study it and see it over and over.
Right, right. And so that's the missing step. Look, Caleb, Janet, Caleb, Javon. That's the missing step. Is that we don't. Sometimes people don't like to do homework. Sometimes we don't like to study, and because of that, things stay in working memory. And the thing about working memory is it only lasts for a little while, right? And so when it's time for us to take a test, or when it's time for us to show people what we know, we can't, because we never got the information past working memory. Okay? Because working memory takes some work. We're not going to be successful if we don't work. Okay? We're not. Caleb made all A's. Yes. He did. He did. And, the reason that he was able to do such a thing is because of the fact that he paid attention. And not only does he pay attention, but he'll sit there and he'll try to figure things out. Okay, once he if he don't know it at first, he'll ask for help. But once you give him the help that he needs, he's going to try to figure it out. Okay, and so that's the key to it. We miss the process of studying. We miss the process of doing things over and over and over again. The Falcons are getting ready to play this weekend, right?
Yes.
They've been practicing all this week. What do you think they've been doing in practice? The same thing they've been doing the whole year, right?
Yeah.
Why are they doing the same thing that they've been doing the whole year?
Practicing.
Okay.
Because sometimes didn't they just get a new defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator?
Right, but not just that. Not just that. Because as a coach, yes, Caleb, before I answer.
Because maybe the parents couldn't have a game on Monday.
Right, and we want our players, as a coach myself, we want our players to know our stuff so good so they'll know it in their sleep. Because if they know it that well, when you have to make adjustments in game time, because the other team is doing the same thing. They're trying to figure out what you do as well. And they want to stop what you do. So their practices are geared to stop what you do. But if you know that you know that you know that you know that you know your information, guess what? When the coach draws up something that you haven't done before, you can execute it because you know how you do things. Okay? And so that's why they have to practice for hours and hours, every day, doing the same things, doing the same stuff, hours and hours and hours. Yes?
That's what happened to me. It was like I was in California and I had to work hours and hours and hours, and it was like 7 o'clock until we could leave, and all we were doing is slants, and then the defense was playing, and then all we were doing was going over and over again, and then
Right.
and then so when we kept practicing, we had a game, and then we executed perfectly, and we blew out the team 31-0.
Right, right. And so that's what we want to do. We want to get that thing into what we call that long-term memory. Okay, and number 4 just says, list or draw a picture of 4 different things that you can do to improve your memory and get smarter in school. And so we're going to talk about these things real quick. One is the key thing that we just said. We must learn how to pay attention. Okay? I know, people that have attention deficit disorder. I know you got a lot of things going on, but there are strategies that we teach and strategies that we learn that if we focus on trying to do those strategies when we need them, we can learn how to pay attention for longer and longer periods of time. Because there's no way of getting around being able to pay attention. Dr. Cerebra says, turn on the spotlight, attention, or active learning. That's what it is. If you're involved and engaged in the learning, like we were today when we had practicing on writing the paper, we come up with our topics, right?
Yes.
And now we're writing an argumentative paper, so we got to defend the point. And you guys did a great job of coming up with 3 reasons why you feel like what you stated is right over the other thing. Okay? Or you feel like it's the best way over the other way. See, and that's because you were actively learning. All right? Number 2, the next thing is organize the information. Okay? Organize the information or put it in chunks. You put bigger information into smaller chunks. Now, let me show you something real quick. This is, let's say, telephone numbers. This is how telephone numbers go. Now, when you dial a telephone number, you don't dial it like this. Okay, that is a telephone number, right? Right?
Yes.
But we don't really understand it like that most of the time. Most of the time we understand it like this when we chunk it, when we take that big long piece of information and we put it in sections, right? This is how we understand it. Okay? That's called chunking. That's called chunking. That's called taking a large piece of information and putting it in sections. You see how we did that? We just put the numbers in sections. And that's how you have to do your information when it comes to work. Okay? You have to put it in sections. All right, I got to hustle. Repetition. Repetition is just simply doing it over and over again. When you repeat something, you help to move it from the short-term to long-term memory. That's when you can say that you really learned it. So repetition. Why do we have to do this again, Coach? We did this already. We did this last month. Why do we have to keep doing it? Because the repetition helps us to take it from short-term memory, from sensory memory, from working memory to long-term.
And help us get smarter too.
Right. Okay. And the other thing, we want to make it interesting. Try to find something that you can connect with it. Like if you like basketball stats or something like that. When you do math, try to think of it as doing basketball stats. Okay? Make it more, make a song out of it. You guys like to rap. Make a rap. Okay? And I see some teachers, again, some teachers are very innovative. They make their kids do something like a television production. Okay? Short story. All right? Because they know that if they let them do something where they're actively involved, the information is more likely to stay with them. Yes, sir?
They did that at Peach Press Elementary School.
Right, right. And that's because a lot of teachers are innovative like that, because we know.
We're on the news.
Right. Because we know how young people learn. And we know you learn better if it's something that you're interested in. Always find a good strategy. Break the information down. Search for more information on your subject. That's what I have to do all the time. And I have to look at several different writers. You know, when I'm talking about mindset, I have to look at several different writers, compare what they do, you know, put it together so that I can give you the best product. Okay? And the last thing, you know, if we can try to do like I did the other day, you know, I just made some initials. KPB. Okay? Those are the kind of things you can do. We do, what is that? We do pandas. What is pandas? In math. When we're doing order of operation, what is it? PEMDAS, so sorry.
Please excuse me here on salary.
Right, so we do PEMDAS, which means parentheses.
Okay.
Wait. Pink. Purple elephants.
No. Parentheses. P is parentheses.
Parentheses. Equation. No, not equation.
Exponents.
Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction.
There we go. And we do that just so that we can remember, you know, how to do order of operations. Okay? And so those are just some strategies that we need to use in order for us to get things into long-term memory. All right?
I don't get it. I can't do this. It doesn't make sense. I'm starting to hate this. I believe in you, and you can make it. Just put the word "yet" at the end of your statement. Y-E-T. We can all shout. Using the word "yet," we were moving all out. We see the problem as a challenge and not a crisis. We creating a growth mindset. You gotta like this. You see, this idea of a growth mindset can also be called the power of yet. In other words, you are not there yet. But just trust me, you can definitely get there. Let's go!
Here we go.